My name is Holly Ferguson. I'm a retired dog trainer and behaviorist with 20 years experience, and I've trained thousands of dogs. Rally is my passion, and my philosophy is the better trained the dog is, the more fun the handler and the dog will have in the ring. And Rally is all about fun. Join me as I discuss various topics that have to do with Rally to help prepare you and your dog to have the most fun you can. Be sure to like this video if you like what you see, subscribe, hit the notification button. Let's get to it. Today's topic is training courses. I've been to different Rally classes in different places. I've watched Rally classes and I've talked with Rally instructors. And for a long time, it seemed the only way people were doing Rally classes was taking people coming out of basic or intermediate and having them do courses throughout the class. And I found that to be not very effective. And so I started teaching classes that were based more on getting the behaviors you want, how you want them, and slowly building up the number of signs that the dog will be doing in the ring. So one of the things that I believe in is that the magic of training happens not in the class, not while you're in the Rally ring training for a Rally trial, but out in the real world. My philosophy is you train for the ring by getting out of the ring. I have a lot of people I hear, they say, oh, we're perfect in Rally class and when we're training at the training center in the backyard, but when I get in the Rally ring, my dog doesn't perform. How can I change that? How can I get my dog to perform better in the ring? It's very simple. Get your dog out of the ring. Your dog has to learn that no matter where you are, no matter what's going on around, the dog has to obey and be responsive rather quickly. So once you get out of the ring and out into the real world, you can start working on these behaviors that then become so ingrained. Once you're in the Rally class, or once you're in the Rally ring, it's not really going to make a difference. Your dog is going to be so used to obeying you, no matter where they are, that the ring is just going to be one of many places that they've been to work on their Rally behaviors. To help with that, I have created some Rally courses that I use in class, and I'll go through them kind of from the simplest to the most difficult. And with these Rally courses, none of them are going to be very few are going to be a full course. Some are going to be even longer. We're going to start out without using any signs at all, but as you go into these courses more and more, you're going to want signs. And I'll put down below in the description where you can find the Rally signs for the different venues. I have some AKC Rally signs here. You always want to start with the start, because if you don't have the start down, chances are the rest of the ring, the rest of the course isn't going to be all that good. No dog goes from a crazy start, or very seldom, to, okay, I'm focused, I'm doing it. Start is the most important. So every one of these, when we're using the signs, you'll have the start. And then, there are all these others. Like you just print them out. I printed these out on cardstock. I've laminated them. And so these are the cards that I use. But I also have smaller cards with the signs on them. And then on the back I would put what the description is of the sign. And when you print out that description of the sign, if you're going to do that, be sure you include the parts that are in bold. Don't copy and paste and leave that out, because those bold parts are the principal parts, and those are the ones that you want to make sure that you do. So we're also going to always have a finish sign, because you want a definite end to your Rally course. And then of course, that's the opportunity you have to make it so much fun. It's like in the course, work, but fun work, and then when you're done, it's party time. So you've got to have that marker where the work ends and the party starts, so your dog has something to look forward to. As you do these courses, you want to make sure that you're rewarding your dog properly. So when you first start these signs, and I'm assuming people who are doing this are working at a pretty basic level, and so you want to have your treats on you. I like to have them on the right side away from the dog, and I like something easy to reach into like a treat pouch. And so you're going to reward immediately when you get the behavior that you want, when you get to a sign. When I say the behavior that you want, you have to have standards You're the human being, so you're going to set the standard for the behavior for your dog. And if you're just starting out, let's say you've started your first rally class, you've done basic, maybe you've done intermediate, okay? And you're starting out, your standard is going to be pretty low because we want to make the dog successful in the terms of they hit the standard enough that they're getting praised and rewarded for it. So your standard may be something like the response time has to be within 15 or maybe 30 seconds, right? If they take longer than that, then they don't get it. Maybe the sit can be a little crooked. Maybe the dog in front can not be kind of straight in front. But those are things that we can work on, and we can up the standard as we go through all this. Remember, when you're taking your dog from someplace they're used to, like the room you practice in, your class, your backyard, whatever, the distractions, just being in a different place is a distraction, a new distraction, but there are new distractions all around. So I like, when I first start working, to lower the standards and then build up from there. And depending on where your dog is, it may be the first time you do it, the standards are fairly low. I mean, you know where your dog should be when they're at a new place. And then maybe each time you do the course, the standards get a little higher and a little higher. And then next time you go back to that place, you start where you ended with your standards and build up from there until you're where you want to be. And as you go through that, the more places you go to, of course, your standards can start at a higher place. So the more you train, the more places that you've been, the more you've been proofing and doing this, the higher your standards are to start out with. But if you're just starting, keep them so that your dog is successful and gets rewarded frequently. Don't reward like super horribly behaviors. If your dog jumps up on you and barks and then sits, that's nowhere near any standard at all for a sit. So of course you're not going to reward for that. But if your dog hesitates a minute, second, looks around, and then sits, and it's not necessarily a straight sit, and it's the first place you've been somewhere, reward, good dog, and then increase your standards. So that's just basic training for me. I always mold behavior, so I always start with requiring the most basic part of the behavior and then build up from there. The first rally training course is the simplest. You're not even going to have signs. I call this a training walk. And it just gets your dog used to doing these rally behaviors no matter where you are, where you're walking. And so, I mean, you could go out of your way. Some people walk their dogs on a regular basis, daily, twice a day. I don't. I have a big backyard. We have other dogs that we can go play with, family dogs. So basically, I don't walk my dogs unless I want to train. And then I might go to the park, or I might go to a walking trail. But if you walk your dog on a daily basis, this is going to be easy. And so all you have to do is think about the behaviors that are in the rally course. We're going to start with novice level. So novice level, there aren't a lot of behaviors. There's the sit, there's the down, I believe there's a stay with a walk around. I'll put a link to a list of the behaviors that are in rally. And of course there's the heel and the turns. But basically there aren't that many behaviors. So what you're going to do is you're going to start the walk, or at some point in the walk stop. It becomes a training walk, or start from the beginning, doesn't matter. You're going to give the command to go forward, whatever your command is. Let's go, come on, heel. And then you're going to just take 6 or 7 steps, and you're going to stop and ask for behavior. It could be sit, it could be down, it could be down walk around, it could be call front. Just whatever stationary behaviors that there are, you're going to do them. If your dog does well, according to your standard for that time, you're going to praise and reward immediately, and then give the command immediately to move forward again. What I see a lot, especially with rewarding, is people lag in giving the next command. So let's say we're going to just go a few steps and do a sit. And I'm going to use the command here, although I teach a automatic sit, but this is just a simple one. So we're walking along. Let's say, let's go. Good girl. I want to praise. Good girl. I stop. Sit. And she sits, and I tell her, good girl, and I give her the treat, and then I kind of readjust myself or whatever. Take a breath, whatever it is. And by then, she's going, squirrel. at the beginning, not now, hopefully. So what you want to do is be prepared to give the command for forward movement as soon as you reward. So I'm walking along, Blitzer, let's go, good girl, that's a good girl, sit, good girl, let's go. And then you don't lose that focus, because remember, a lot of this is getting your dog used to focusing on you and not everything that's going around them. It's not just getting the dog used to being around different distractions, but ignoring those distractions and keeping their focus on you. Now, when you start this, especially if you have a very distracted dog, you can just do 2 or 3 before you get to the finish, and you're like, okay, and life is good, and you run and you jump and you pet the dog and have a good time. So, you don't have to do long training walks. And then as you get better, you can add more and more. One of the things I like most about training walks, especially if they're done on a sidewalk, is that my goal is to stay on that sidewalk. No matter how wide, no matter how thin, my goal is to stay on that sidewalk. So when I do things like figure 8s, 360s, 180s, can't do the 270s and the 90s on this. My job is for me to stay on the sidewalk, and my dog has to learn to watch me and stay out of my way. And even before I did sidewalks, I did straight line figure 8s and 360s and 180s, because if you're walking around your dog, you've got that leg time, first of all, between what the command was, and then, or you go to do a turn and you're walking around your dog, and that gives your dog a whole lot of time to look around and get in trouble. But if you do a nice tight turn, your dog has to watch and they kind of have to move back out of your way. It's exactly what I want to see when somebody's doing a turn like that. So these sidewalk courses are just a whole lot of fun, and you can walk briskly and just have a good time. You're praising your dog when your dog is walking with you, and lots of rewards. Hopefully your standard is at the point where you're giving lots of rewards before you move up. So then the dog stops seeing walking as stop pulling, don't, whatever. I see a lot of people struggle with walking, even if they have a trained dog. And once you add the training into it, then the dog is like, oh, now we're having a good time. I'm doing something fun. I'm getting rewarded for it. She's happy. I'm happy. I don't have to worry about the world. So I really like the sidewalk courses, the straight courses, and don't be afraid of those turns, because that's, I think, where people make their biggest improvement is the turns on the sidewalk courses. The second course is very simple, and it doesn't include signs either. It's the auto sit course, and you can do this in a straight line. You can do this, in a parking lot, in your driveway, and mix it all up. But the only thing you're going to worry about when you get to your sign is an automatic sit. Now, you may not do an automatic sit, and that's fine if you have something, if you have a reason why. I see a lot of people in the rally ring not doing automatic sits, and I don't really see a reason why. The biggest reason I get that's valid is, well, what if my dog has to stand when I stop? So I would rather teach an automatic sit, because how many sits are we doing in a ring? A lot. And then teach another command if my dog shouldn't sit. So the command for my dog not sitting is just wait. So I'm walking along, wait. And the dog has to stop movement, and I can go forward and do what I need to do. So I really like to practice the automatic sits. It shaves off time, keeps the dog focused on you, and it looks good. It looks like teamwork, and that's important in the rally ring. So you can do straight lines, like I said. You can put them all over the place, but you want to start with just doing maybe 2 stops. So you have your start, remember? Oh, I don't even know. Here it is. We're always having our start, whether it's the actual sign or in our head. When we're doing these courses, there's always a place to start. Dog, let's go. Good dog, good dog, good dog. And then you get to the place where the sign should be, and you could use cracks in the sidewalk. You could take, little markers, cones, whatever you want to do. And then you've already taught an automatic sit. You wait for that automatic sit. If you haven't taught one, I have some videos somewhere that I'll have to look up that teaches an automatic sit in a very easy, natural way. So, and then you reward the dog if the dog sits quickly, and we're back to those standards and molding the behavior. The first time you do this, and if your dog is used to you saying sit, they may be thoroughly confused, and they may look at you, and they may look around, and they may just be totally confused. But at some point, a dog's going to sit, and you're like, good dog, and reward, and you're not worried. Just the basic standard is the dog's got to put his rear end down. And so then, of course, you increase your standards as you go along until the automatic sit is, as you're stopping, that rear end goes down, and the dog is focused on you and is straight. But anyway, so that's what you do. And then you can you can add more if your dog is really good at doing start and then 2 automatic sits. And then, of course, you have to have your finish. Then you can start adding 3, you can start adding 4 or 5. If you go to a new place that's very busy, very distracting, you can go back to doing 2 and then add a 3rd and then add a 4th. And again, this is one of those things that's kind of, well, I think it's very fun for dogs. Once they start to get it, not much is being asked of them. You're happy, you're moving along, good dog, good dog, good dog. You stop, sit, good dog, reward. And what are we going to do as we're rewarding? We're going to give the command, let's go again. So good dog, good dog, good dog. Dog sits, good dog, let's go. And it's just kind of fun for the dog. It's kind of a no-brainer. And they seem to enjoy it, and their heads come up. Be sure that you're working at a brisk pace. Their tails come up and start to wag, and I absolutely love it. The next one is just a basic short course. And again, it could be along the sidewalk, it could be in your driveway, but you're always going to have 2 signs, because with the short courses, we're working with the signs. You're going to have a start, you're going to have a finish. And then when you start out, have 2 in between. They can be the more difficult ones, or one easy, one difficult, but you're just going to have the 2 signs in between. So it's easy, it's fun. You get out of there, party. Remember, it's work, 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 and then party. And the party's going to come really soon with this one. So you start off, dog, let's go, good dog, good dog, good dog. You get to your first sign, down, good boy. You go to give the treat, and as that dog is taking the treat, you're going to say, let's go, because you don't want to lose the dog's focus. You don't want to have that leg time. And then you're going to go to the next one, dog front, good dog, reward that dog, and then let's go as the treat goes into the dog's mouth. One reason why I like small, meaty treats. They shouldn't be stopping to chew, and you shouldn't be stopping to let them look around. And then you're going to get to that finish. You're going to finish however you want to finish. I like to have a sit first and then a nice release with the party. If you just want to get past that sign and go for it, then you go for it. Just keep it consistent. And with the short course, of course, you're going to be adding more and more signs as you go along. So, but keep it fun, keep it manageable for the dog, set the dog up for success. You can take this anywhere. Who can't carry 4 signs with them and put them up against curbs, rocks, trees, cars, whatever. So, and you can do the turns. This is not a straight course. You can put in a 270. You can put in a 90-degree turn. You can put in all the turns. And it's easy to set up. You don't have to know how to set up a course. You don't have to think hard about it. You have 4 signs and 2 are real simple. And then as you get used to that, you put in more and more, and your dog gets used to it. And your dog starts to focus on you when you're doing a rally course, no matter where you are. The next course is the double time course, and I really love this course. This is not a neat, tidy course. This is not a graceful course, but you're going at least twice the speed that you would go with your regular brisk walk. So, in the ring, the regulations say that we should be walking briskly, so your walk should already be all pretty quick, but we're going to make this fast. You can even run. You can just have fun with this. And again, we're not looking for perfect responses, especially in the beginning. This is just a whole lot of fun. When we're walking, we do the rally course. Oh, wait a minute, now we're running, but we still have to do the rally course, or we're jogging, or we're just walking at a really quick pace. Okay, you could even mix it up if you want to do things with your movement. You could march it. You could hop it, you could skip it. You add all those things and your dog is going to learn that no matter what's going on, they've got to be right there. And when you stop, there's going to be a behavior that they need to do. And I mean, we all know dogs love to move very quickly, except for livestock guarding breeds. Just a joke, maybe. But we've worked with many livestock guarding breeds, and the biggest issue was lagging, and we always got through that. Maybe I'll do a video on how to get your lagging dog up to speed. But until then, do that double time course and just have fun with it. And you can start it as a short course and make it longer and longer. You can start out going just a little bit faster if your dog is totally out of control. And then when they get used to doing a little bit faster, then you add a little more speed and a little more speed. Maybe add a march, do something fun with it. Dogs love to have fun. If you haven't noticed, even serious dogs, they tend to love to have fun. And so this makes Rally a lot more fun than oh, here we go. We're going in this ring in the same place and I have to do these same exercises over and over again. The next course is a double course. And that is just you setting up a course. It could be a short course to begin with, but eventually you want a full-size course. So maybe you could set this up at the ring that you practice on, because even though it's the same place, it's something new. And the start sign is also the finish sign. So as you go through the course, you get back to the start sign. You don't stop. You walk right by it and you start the course again, and you do it twice. In my more advanced Rally classes, we would often do it 3 times so that the dog doesn't get quote unquote barn broke. Like, oh, we did 12 signs, we passed the finish line, I'm done. No, we keep going until you say we're done, and then we have our party. So the double course is a lot of fun. And again, if you don't think you or your dog can do a double course, because I know sometimes that much focus for the new person is also difficult, you can add, you can decide, that start finish line, I'm going to go 2 more signs past it, and then the next time go 3 signs past it. So you build up, your dog builds up, because you're always setting up for success. The next one, this is a hard one. I'd say this is probably the most difficult, and it's interesting because, well, let me tell you what it is first. It is the halftime course. Don't think halftime party, halftime entertainment. This is you and your dog moving halftime. So basically, it's a course all done in slow. Oh my gosh, even my speech has slowed down talking about this. So everything is very purposeful. Everything is very slow. And that can be difficult for you, and it can be difficult for your dog. But I think it really helps both of you in the long run to be focused and to know exactly intentionally what you want to do. And that's what this does. It also helps you work with focus on your dog, because if you're going slow, we've kind of got that lag time built in, and your dog is going to want to look around, see what's going on. They may get bored, but it's okay. Sometimes I'm bored at work. Well, no, I'm a dog trainer. I'm never bored at work. It helps both of you learn to focus. And again, as with all of these courses, if you want to start, we only want to do 2 signs besides the start and the finish. Slow pace as the dog learns. Now, you can put a slow pace sign in a halftime course, and that means you're going really, really slow. One piece of advice, whether you're doing the slow sign in the rally ring regularly or you're working halftime, when you slow down, keep your steps long as they are when you're walking at your brisk pace, because if you start to shorten them, we naturally shorten our steps as we go to stop, and the dogs generally learn that cue whether we teach it or not. I teach it, but whether we teach it or not, they get that cue from us, and they may think it's time to sit. So if you're moving your feet in large steps, they're not going to catch that cue. Speed is not part of slowing down. That change in footstep length is what signals a slowing down. So when you're doing that, anytime you're going slow, make sure you take big slow steps. You may need to practice that without your dog. Some people have a hard time. So just keep that in mind. You may want to start with you first, and then once you can walk slowly, taking those big steps, then you can start doing slow much more effectively. The last course is the long course. You are going to increase the space between signs so there is more healing in the course. So, where normally you may put your signs 6 feet apart, you may start doing it 10 and then 12 and then 18. The whole point of this course is to get your dog to focus through that heel part, which is so important in rally. And then when you only have to go back to 6 feet, it's nothing to them. We're building up their stamina and their focus. Walking 20 feet between signs, it's going to make 6 feet a piece of cake. It's going to be so easy for you if you continue and you work on this. Oh, and my last course. I love this course. This course is designed for those judges, and we all know who they are, who walk way too close to you and your dog. I call this one Follow the Leader, and you can do it with 1, 2, or 3 people. You're going to get somebody to walk directly behind your dog as you go through the course, as close as they can get without touching them. And just get them used to somebody being there. You want to change people out. If you do 2, you can have somebody right behind the dog, somebody on the left side of the dog. If you want to do 3, you can have somebody walking in front of you, somebody on the left side of the dog, somebody behind the dog. And if you want to change it up, once they get that and can do a full course like that, limp or hop or walk sideways, walk backwards, like really just play with the dog's mind that when somebody is close, no matter what they're doing, focus is on you, focus is on what we're doing, not on the person that's doing these weird, strange things. And of course, you can have hats, sunglasses, big, loud, floppy boots, whatever it is you want to do to change it up. And with all the courses, you can start with just a couple of signs. And then the start and the finish, and then a couple of signs. When you get to the finish, make sure the person moves away so that you can just relax and have a whole lot of fun with your dog. Have that finish party. And there you go. These are easy ways that we can take our training and our proofing and our own focus out into the world, so that by the time you get into the rally ring, your dog is so used to doing all of this stuff anywhere that they're not going to give it a second thought. If you want to proof for inside the ring and train for inside the ring, you have to go out into the world. If you're only working in the ring to get your dog used to the ring, that's only going to go so far. When you proof, when you train, you want to go as many places as you can with as many distractions, and then the ring is going to be like piece of cake. It's going to be easy peasy. So I hope you find this information useful. I hope you have a chance to use it. If you do, please post down below in the comments. Let me know how it works for you. Let me know if you have any questions. If you don't understand some of the things that I've talked about, definitely ask. Be sure you like, subscribe, hit the button, hit the bell to be notified, and share with your rally friends, and hopefully they can get something from this and make their performance in the ring not only better, but more fun. So thanks, and I'll see you next time. Have fun with your dog.